Hello, Material Explorer can be accessed from the toolbar, clicking on this button, but also from the View menu, Material Explorer, or Ctrl-Shift-M. But the most usual way to access the Material Explorer window is from the right-click menu. If you right-click any operation, it's going to show you Show in Material Explorer option. And also this is available from the supply line and the demand line here. If you click on it, you see that you have Open in Material Explorer. So looking at a specific link between orders, between items, you have here an example of a given, let me remove the outline so it's clear. So you have one order schedule, and at the end of this order, at the end of this operation, there is a dotted line linking this order here with this order. So in order to start this, what's the code? You see this TR22 order, you need to finish this SF22. And at the end of the TR22, there is also a dotted line to the demand requesting the production of this that is being the item that is being generated by this order, the finished good that is being generated by this order. And also you see we have links between the supply to the SF22 order. So it's a full-fledged supply chain flow from your supply to your production to your demand. Okay? But this doesn't tell you a lot of information, such as material charts, what orders are actually supplying. In order to know exactly what order it is, you need to right-click and see what is highlighted here. So that is exactly why the Material Explorer exists. So let's right-click here and show in Material Explorer. You see that now in this window, I have at the center of it the order number that we right-clicked and the operations requesting material. So in this case, all of my 8 operations, all of them, they are requesting material. Okay, so that's why you see all of them here. And the operation 80, you have both a request of material, you see, in this one, the last one, and also a production of material. Okay? But before explaining this better, let's take a look at all available screens in the Material Explorer. So you have here at the bottom material plots. I'm going to explain this better as well. You have order details that you can hide. You have the search functionality that you can also hide. And you have the issues that you can also hide. Okay, so let's focus right now on this screen over here and what functionality it provides you. So again, you have at the center the production order with its routing. At the end, you have what material you are producing, right? So you're producing this material over here. This is the quantity being produced, and this is the end time of this last operation. This is the order end. So this is 1,150 of this part number is being produced at this date and time. And then the consumption of this happened by this order. It's consuming the full 1,150, and the consumption happened at this order, at this date and time here. So there are some tip display as well that you can see. So if you leave your mouse on the order, on the consumption order, you're going to see some further details about it. So you see what is the operation consuming it, and the operation name, what is the product consuming it. And also for every operation here, you have the same tip display. There are ways to include more information in this tip display, okay? And at the left side of this screen, you have the bill of material, the item list for each one of those operations. The most common ways in ERP is for all materials to be requested at the first operation, at operation number 10 most of the time. But in this configuration, we have request of material at every operation. Okay, so let me click on this. So you see that my operation 10, in order to start my operation 10, I need RM449 material number. I need this much, 22,000, a little bit more than that. And this is my requirement date, which is the start time of operation number 10. Okay, so those date and times here, they are essentially the start time of the setup start if you have setup time, but the start time if you don't have setup time for all of those operations. Okay, and here you also see that I have some orders supplying this quantity here. Okay, so you see that PO49 and PO91, both of them are supplying for this order. So you see that I using 22,166, but I need 167. So the one outstanding is being supplied by this order right here. Okay, and this is the same for every information here, right? Every bill of material requirement. Another visual information that you can get is this icon, right? So this little warehouse icon, it's to represent that as an inventory. It's a lot. It's part of your stock, and this cart icon represents that it's coming from a purchase order. Okay. Another functionality that you have is the closing of the locking and unlocking of links. So for example here, click to close this. So that means now that this link here, so it's the same, right? Doing from here or doing from here is exactly the same, right? So that means that this link between this lot supplying to this operation, this link is now closed. That means that if I, for example, clear my pegging links like this. Oh, sorry, I need to unschedule everything. Let me see if I've done that right. Yep, that went away. So now if I clear the links, you see that everything went away. So now I have shortages because I have cleared all my pegging links, but this is not removed because I have locked this. This is useful, for example, when you assign a lot to you do a reservation, a material reservation from your inventory to the production order. So you pay the material and you pay it using your ERP system, so we can import that and create those locking functionalities in order to prevent those to being recalculated by the peg material rules. Okay, so let me run that again. You see that now I have created new pegging links. So essentially this is the functionality that you get here. One last thing is it allows you to navigate. So for example, if I want to take a look at this purchase order over here, all I need to do is double click it. So you see that it goes to the purchase order that is producing this item here, RMN449, this quantity on this date. So it's arriving on October 10. And those are the production order consuming this quantity. So you can do a navigation. Now I double click this one, I see this order, and then I can double click this order. I have the relationship for this order, and I click on this last customer order here, which is my final demand, and I have this information. Okay, right. So let's come back to the SF, which is provides better information. All right. So here in the order details, essentially, it's you can pretty much navigate into different orders, right? So clicking here, you're gonna navigate like this, right? And you can do a refresh all from here. If you rerun your pegging material, you may want to do a refresh all. Okay, so this is not particularly useful, but the search functionality, it is pretty useful because you can look for a given order. So let me try to demonstrate that. Let me look for one particular order. Try to find that order here. There we go. So you're going to be able to filter the order from here. So if I double click, I go exactly to that order. Okay. Okay, so let me hide those issues. Here, it's going to demonstrate group the information in two different ways: unused materials or shortages. Right now, I don't have any shortages, but I have materials that are not being used. Okay, so let me simulate a shortage of material. So let me add it here. Let me put 0 here. Let me unschedule and run the peg material again. The default. Coming back here, because of I reduce the quantity, now I have shortages. Okay, so of course, if you double click here, you're going to navigate to those orders as well, same as the unused material here. But another functionality that you have here, you can copy and paste here. So if, for example, I can click Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and now I can open an Excel file. Let me open an Excel file here to demonstrate. Okay, and I can paste this information with Ctrl V. All right. Okay. So material plots now. Let me hide those. This can show you for each one of those material being displayed at the moment. Okay. So the list here can change depending on what you see here in this screen. So depending on the list of in the bill of material and the material being produced, it's gonna update the list of materials available here. So it's show you exactly the availability of material for and the production and consumption charts. So for example, if I zoom in here and I leave my mouse, I see that I am supplying 2 supply lots, and I'm raising my stock at this date to this level here, to this quantity, and then I have a PO supplying additional quantity, another PO supplying additional quantity, another PO, and so on and so forth. Right now, I don't have any consumption because if you remember, I unschedule everything. But if I do a new schedule and come back here to the Material Explorer, now my charts they are completely different. So I have a production, right, from stock or from purchase orders in this case, and I have consumption from my bill of material, right? And at the end, you have what is your final stock. For the current order being displayed, you're going to have this specific representation here to show you what is the order at the moment. So you see this is the order, the same order. And another functionality here is you can navigate to the orders that are either supplying or consuming material. So for example, if I want to take a look at this, you see that at this exactly date, I have an order consuming 24,000 and then have a purchase order supplying 92,000. So that's why this chart at this moment increases. So let's take a look at this. And when you left click, you see that now this is the position that I am at the moment. And this is the links for this particular purchase order. Okay. You have here as well a way to zoom in or out, but using your mouse wheel works the best because it works very similar to the Gantt chart. The zooming in or out happens at the position your mouse is. Okay. And one last functionality is that you can click on this button here. I don't think it opens by default. Yeah, it does not. But when you click on this, you see that the search functionality opens further information here. So you see that this is the order that I searched it previously, right? So you see that for this raw material 449, you have what you see here in a chart, you have this in a table here. So everything supplying and everything consuming. Okay, and that's it for the Material Explorer. I hope you enjoy it. Take care.